At number 5 is The Outsiders, the film about greasers and socias based on the 1967 novel by S.E. Hinton. Lots of big names in this film, and all of them are outstanding. Just to name a few, you've got C. Thomas Howell, Matt Dillon, Patrick Swayze, Ralph Macchio, Emilio Estevez, Tom Cruise, and the list goes on. The story revolves around Pony Boy, a young teenager who doesn't quite seem to fit in with his group of friends, the Greasers. It's like a non-musical, non-heel clicker version of West Side Story. The bonding between characters is really what gives this movie and story its strength, in my opinion. It kind of reminds me of the film Stand By Me, which I was going to include in my top 10 kids movie list, but decided against it because of the R rating and profanity. I particularly like the interactions between Ponyboy and Johnny, as well as his brothers. There's one scene where Ponyboy is talking with one of the socias about the big brawl that's going to happen. It's probably one of my favorite scenes because both of them see eye to eye and don't want to be any part of it. And that's really what it's all about. If you don't mind watching a bunch of boys cry, then I definitely recommend checking this one out, or perhaps just reading the book, or both.
Adler,
Here.
Anderson, Anderson,
Here.
Bueller, 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 Bueller.
Number 4, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I think just about everyone watching this has seen this movie. If not, I don't know what to say.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
It's about a teenager named Ferris who plays hooky and has the time of his life on his day off from school. It's a pretty simple plot, but it's absolutely fantastic. Ferris, played by Matthew Broderick, is like a young James Bond. The kid can get away with anything, and he pulls it off so effortlessly and on the spot. He even speaks to the audience as if they were there with him, enjoying the ride.
I do have a test today. That wasn't bullshit. It's on European socialism. I mean, really, what's the point? I'm not European. I don't plan on being European. So who gives a crap if they're socialists? They could be fascist anarchists. It still wouldn't change the fact that I don't own a car.
Matthew Broderick does an awesome job as Ferris, but to be honest, Alec Rook's character Cameron tends to be my favorite. He's absolutely hilarious, allowing Ferris to talk him into just about everything, while still being extremely uptight and paranoid.
Call me sir, goddammit.
And this brings up a good point. Supporting characters get overlooked way too much. Without them, most movies would be flat and dull. In this case, Ferris and Cameron are like peanut butter and jelly. All in all, it's one of those movies you really don't have to be in the mood for. You can just pop it in at any moment, turn it off, and then come back to it right where you left off. It's awesome. Alright, Porky's takes the bronze medal at number 3. To me, this film is like combining Animal House, American Graffiti, and American Pie all in one. It's set to take place in the 1950s and revolves around a bunch of teenage guys that are pretty much just your average teenage guys, goofing around, pulling pranks, trying to get laid, you know.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yes, Virginia, there is a...
When a strip club owner called Porky cons the boys out of their money and beats one of them up, the boys seek out their revenge on him. It's really a fun movie to watch, especially with the 1950s setting and the way it incorporates a lot of elements from that time period, even some of the issues like racism and prejudices against Jewish people. The characters are all very fun to watch, and it's funny because most of them act very much like friends I know.
Hang on a minute. Is Mike Hunt here? Has anybody seen Mike Hunt? Hey, Frank, ask for the car hops if Mike Hunt's outside.
I have to say that The Revenge is by far one of the best paybacks of any movie I've seen, and the ending is definitely a big payoff. There were 2 sequels made, but like most sequels, they're nowhere near as good as the original. But if you're a big enough fan of the first one, then I'd say check them out. If you enjoyed Animal House or Revenge of the Nerds, you'll have a good time with Porky's.
Why do they call you Lassie?
Taking a solid second place is The Breakfast Club, probably my favorite Brat Pack film. What's great about this film is that it doesn't really date itself. Everyone knows or has known characters similar to the ones here and can relate in some way. For those of you unfortunate ones that haven't seen this film, it's about a group of kids that for one reason or another have to spend a Saturday in detention. Most of the film takes place in detention inside the library, and it's here where the characters interact and develop.
So, are you guys like boyfriend, girlfriend? Steady dates? Lovers? Come on, Sporto. Level with me. Do you slip her the hot beef injection?
Go to hell!
Enough! Hey, what's going on in there?
Everyone fits into some sort of stereotypical class of student. There's the nerd, the jock, the princess, the basket case, and the criminal. Throughout the film, they all learn that none of them are really who they appear to be. It's really a well-written story, and everyone gives an extremely solid performance. I have to admit, though, that John Bender is by far my favorite character. The bulk of the comedy stems from him, and Judd Nelson is absolutely hilarious to watch.
3, 2, 1.
Bender! What is this? What are you doing here? What is this? Out! That's it, Bender. Out! It's over.
Don't you want to hear my excuse?
Out!
Thinking of trying out for a scholarship.
Overall, the film really keeps it real, and I find it hits pretty close to home. If there's one John Hughes Brat Pack movie to watch, I'd say this is it.
See, Brad? See you next Saturday. You bet.
And the gold medal goes to Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Now, why in the world would I choose this film over all of the other great ones I mentioned? Simple. This movie is the 80s.
Awesome!
It's the epitome of what the 80s teenage lifestyle was like. Instead of having one main plot, Fast Times follows a large cast of characters that all have their own little stories happening simultaneously. In a way, it's kind of like a documentary of the 1980s high school life.
It's a way of life, no hobby. It's a way of looking at that wave and saying, hey, bud, let's party.
Like I said, there are several stories that unfold at the same time. There's a plot with Mike Damone and Mark Ratner, Mark and Stacy, Jeff Spicoli and Mr. Hand, Brad and Lisa, and so on. The cast is absolutely terrific, and it's really funny to look back then and think about where a lot of them are today. Judge Reinhold, Phoebe Cates, and even a very young Nicolas Cage, who was only 17 at the time. But really, it's Sean Penn's character, Jeff Spicoli, that steals the show.
Wait a minute, there's no birthday party for me here.
He's so hilarious, and many of the comedic moments emanate from him alone.
Hey, you in my class? I am today.
Like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I find that I really don't have to be in a certain mood to watch this film. It's fun to watch at any day or time. I think what really does it for me is a sense of nostalgia the film creates. Granted that this film was made about 27 years ago, I find that it still leaves me with about the same feeling I get from watching American Graffiti. If you're thinking 80s, think Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
My brother's gonna kill us. He's gonna kill us. He's gonna kill you and he's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill us.
Hey, man, just be glad I had fast reflexes.
My brother's gonna shit.
Make up your mind, dude. Is he gonna shit or is he gonna kill us?
First he's gonna shit, then he's gonna kill us.
Well, that wraps up teen movies as well as this set of top 10 lists. Keep checking back as I plan to do another set of 1980s movies, including the genres horror and action. And thanks for watching.